All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call I'm La Alahaina with Yahweh by Shem Yahushai by Shem Harakakadash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who we want to teach well. Hearty shalom to the elect. All right. It's your brother Karate is back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and we're just going to talk about some things that I've seen in the news, okay? All right, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 67. It says, "Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble." Well, nothing but trouble is coming, okay? Nothing but trouble is coming. It says here, Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right. Salakia, and he that's going to be saved out of it is you individuals that are of the Lord's elect. All right. You so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians that, and the other nations whose seed line that goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, that are specifically of the elect. All right. Those are the only ones that's going to be delivered out of the trouble that's coming, okay? All right? And then the Lord has scattered his people. That's why I say who see I go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There are other nations that may look like the other nations, okay? All right? Those are who's going to be saved out of it, but here's what's coming, okay? Let me get this in the book of Joel. Joel. All right, this is Joel chapter 2 and verse 12. It says here, we know this is talking about the thermonuclear missiles, but Esau is also part of the Lord's army. When Israel was jacked up, all right, the Lord used other nations to do it, okay? It says, "And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong to execute his word, for the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it?" We are looking at the days of the Lord coming upon us, man. And the days of the Lord there's not going to be anything peace and safety. There's not going to be any, anything where the lifestyle that you currently live is normal and going on and on to the next day. All right, the Lord is about to destroy this place called America. Okay, verse 12, it says, "Therefore also now saith Yahweh, even turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning." Why would you be weeping and mourning? Look at what happened in Chicago last week, where they was out there. They raided the ICE individuals, raided a building, okay, and had kids out there in zip ties, all right, handcuffed, and things of that nature, all right. And it's all pointed at you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, all right. This is why you need to be crying and mourning, all right, because of the oppression that's going on around about you. All right. It says here, verse 13, "And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto Yahweh your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil." That's what needs to happen. All right. For you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, repent and turn back to the Lord. All right. Because what the Lord has coming is the Lord's sword, his whooping stick. Okay. Let me see. I know it's in Psalms. All right, this is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." And the only way that's going to happen is if you turn back to the Lord. And most importantly is if you are the elect, all right? Let's go here. It says, verse 68, For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." We know it's talking about that chip, okay? But you can look in the news and see that there's a great wrath burning over you, a multitude of people burning over you. Let's look at this.
America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished. You know, the gangbangers that you deal with, they think that they're ruthless. They have no idea how ruthless we are. They think they're tough. They have no idea how tough we are. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are. And we have the entire weight of the United States government behind us. What do they have? They have nothing behind them. So we are going to win. They are going to lose. We are going to rescue Memphis. This is the United States of America.
Ultimately, I was thinking a few things while he was talking. Ultimately, the Lord's going to win and Esau's going to lose, okay? But in the sense of how things are going now, because we have sinned against the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, Esau has the upper hand. And Esau is going to go attack you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians who have heard this word and shunned the word, mocked at the men of the Lord, done everything but repent, okay? 2/3 of our people, the Lord is sending his sword at you, okay? And there may be some, not casualties of war, but some people that get caught up in it. But the Lord, some people that don't deserve to be caught up in it in regards to how they're moving in life, in regards to they're doing the right thing. But some of the Lord's people may be caught up in it in regards to being an example of how to stand, okay, for righteousness, like Eleazar, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, okay, all right, because the Lord left examples for us to follow after, and those examples may be walking around the earth today, okay. But my point is showing you this, that Esau's on his way, all right, and you can see what he's doing in the world, okay. Let me see. Let's listen to this.
Say I was still wrong.
All right, and let me say this again. This is fair use, fair use, fair use, okay? All right, fair use, okay? All right, fair use, fair use. This video is for educational purpose only, not to incite any violence or war, okay? All right, let me see. All right, fair use. All right, fair use. All right, this is for educational, teaching, and documentary purposes, okay? Not to incite any type of violence, okay, against anybody or any governmental institution, okay? All right, this is just to let the people know what's going on, giving them warning. All right.
35 minutes ago, it was announced that Donald Trump was going to enact the Insurrection Act of 1808. The Insurrection Act of 1808 is an act that allows the U.S. president, under comprisement of different laws, to activate the U.S. military against civilians under an insurrection.
All right, and what the federal government doing is an act of terrorism, okay? All right, let's look up the word terrorism. By definition, this is what they're doing. It says terrorism, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Can't tell me that's not what the United States government is doing. But anyway.
And 35 minutes ago, man announced that he wanted to enact that against Portland. Now, I clearly remember teaching to y'all nonstop that Abraham Lincoln had 3 acts, and those 3 acts were the important acts that we have to watch for a civil war. And the 3 acts have to do with the Insurrection Act of 1808, the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, as well as the suspension of writ of habeas corpus, the Fifth Amendment. Donald Trump has already enacted the Alien Enemies Act under Marco Rubio's guidance for him to start deporting people based off of what they said in their social media when they were stopping people at airports, as well as deporting people under a threat, saying that it's the Latinos y también la otra país, como que este debajo de los Estados Unidos. The suspension of the writ of habeas corpus, the suspension of the Fifth Amendment, well, that not only happened with ICE, but that happened with the arrest of judges. People on soil, American citizens, are not allowed to invoke the Fifth Amendment. So that gives the power to the president for him to conduct any arrests based off of any means without the rights of due process to homegrown Americans. That's why he was threatening to arrest judges. And he did, in Wisconsin. Now we come to the Insurrection Act of 1808. The Insurrection Act of 1808 was used by a couple of presidents, including Donald Trump during 2017 and 2020, the George Floyd riots. But what people missed, what happened in 2020, was he was not given the permission of the U.S. military. He wasn't allowed to enact it. Now he's saying he's going to enact it in order to federalize the U.S. military and be able to supersede what the judges are saying and blocking, which is him using and mobilizing the National Guard against the American people. Now you're probably like, Chewbacca, what does this mean?
The act of terrorism, mobilizing it and instituting the National Guard against the American people. For what? Because the people protest? Because the people don't like what the American politics are doing? That's fine. It doesn't matter to me anyway. America's going to be destroyed. But this is just one form of terrorism, all right?
Next. What it means next is we have to prepare for the Civil War. The Civil War was...
Now listen, the men of the Lord aren't preparing for no means of war. The Lord is going to deliver us, okay? The Lord is going to save us, okay? We're not out here inciting or propagating any forms of war. The Lord is going to do everything within his power, which is great, which is vast, which is unimaginable, to deliver you up out of this nonsense that the so-called white man is causing.
Was done in 1861 on April 12th when Abraham Lincoln decided to go to war after an explosion in Fort Sumter, South Carolina. Unalived a lot of people. Respectively, Abraham Lincoln wasn't allowed to use the U.S. military, so he had to comprise his militia, and that's why they started off with 75,000 volunteers. Those volunteers got up to 168,000. We lost.
Look at that. Volunteers started with ICE individuals. I'm sure the ICE individuals have grown, and guess what they doing? They just walking around terrorizing people, all right? They pointing guns at people in their cars. They are pulling people out their homes, raiding buildings, breaking down doors, anything in regards to whatever it is that, you know, Donald Trump has put them out to do, all right? Which is in the name of deportation. But anyway.
620,000 people.
It's only happening in the brown and black neighborhoods in regards to where Donald Trump is setting up the military and these ICE individuals, okay? Only in the brown and black neighborhoods. All right, keep that in mind because it's part of Jacob's trouble.
Yeah. Shadowing is when Donald Trump decided to stop the funding to different states. That's exactly what Abraham Lincoln did to the states that didn't agree with him in the South. The secession of the states were the states trying to succeed. They were trying to leave. They didn't want to be a part of the Union. And they didn't want to be a part of the Union because they still had free slaves. They had slaves that they didn't have to pay for to make their agriculture and their production, meaning that they would make more money and more trade. That's actually what's happening in the United States of America today, California being one of the most affluent states in this country, but also the one with the most contracts outside of the United States, including with Germany, France, you know. Je ne sais pas. What is it to gain if this country goes into a civil war? Law and order. Donald Trump calling the country in certain areas war-ravaged and changing the Department of Defense to Department of War is a sign. Donald Trump telling the military to use full force as if necessary is a sign. And what I want to be very clear about is that the pragmatic people that sat beside and did not vote and did not participate in this, you are not excluded from this, the 60%. This will be knocking on everybody's door because it's going into the propaganda moves of what Zitler was going through. Zitler was the one that was firing social media and media services that didn't align with him, similar to what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. Zitler was the one that was arresting homeless people and people that currently went missing, similar to Alligator Alcatraz, and then you would find out that their bodies were the only things that she could find. Zitler was also the person that demonized any party that wasn't the Yahtzee party, and the SS Command wasn't the German military, it was his own militia. So now that you have this background, you ready? Sir, you're going to sit here and say I was still wrong? 35
you better be ready.
minutes.
They are beating people.
Now look at this. This is for more educational purposes, okay? All right? Because the president is about to send the National Guard out there. Not the National Guard, but the 82nd Airborne Division to Portland, all right? I was in the 82nd when I was in the Army, okay? I'm not going to read none of this article. You can go and read it yourself, okay? It's not lengthy at all, but somebody slipped up and said that the 82nd is going to be sent out to Portland, some White House official, okay? And that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. This is all good stuff, okay? All right? This is all great stuff, okay?
Shooting people, they are spraying them with pepper spray. I want to be absolutely clear about something. ICE is not working with the local police. I have no doubt that the local police have been told to work with ICE, but ICE is attacking them. I repeat, ICE is attacking local law enforcement in Portland, Oregon. TikTok is not showing videos of these things. The location of Portland, Oregon has been removed from TikTok. The tag has been removed from TikTok. Spread the word. Everybody needs to be documenting.
I remember some time ago during Donald Trump's first presidency, he had some money approved for military-like gear for the police, All right, I did a video on it. This was a while ago, while he was in his first presidency, but I can't remember when it was exactly. But this is what it was for. All right, this is what it was for. You see what's going on now. All right, and they're coming after the protesters. They're coming after you, brown and black people. All right, they're coming after individuals that's against America. All right. Let's see. Let me get some scriptures. Let's see. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 69. It says, "And they that consented to them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." Now, this is going to take it to that taking the MOTB, but at any form of life and time, if you consent with the devil's going to overthrow you, man. All right. Go read Sirach 12 and 10 on down. Okay. All right. Never trust thine enemy. And that goes to you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, especially you damn northern tribe individuals. Y'all was all on this man's nutsack, and look at what he's doing to y'all. Look at what he's doing to y'all's people. All right. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh by Shem Shai," and that's coming. All right. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then it shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." Right? That's what's coming. Okay. That is what is exactly coming. All right. But what you see here in these articles is division amongst the people. All right, this is Luke 12:49. "I am come to set a fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I will come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. All right. From henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided against 3, 2 against 2, and against 3, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." I'm gonna get. I think it's Matthew 10. But there's going to be divisions within the households of people, all right? And there's division already within the government. There's division already within the people, the normal day-to-day life of people, all right? Look at what's going on in the streets, all right? Protesters, military individuals being sent out there, all right? ICE going out there doing their thing, all right? Let me see, Matthew 10. And this is Matthew chapter 10. Yeah, it's the same thing. Cast out Satan. Here we go. This is Matthew 12:25. "And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall his kingdom stand?" This kingdom is not about to stand. All right, you see it. This kingdom is not about to stand any longer than what the Lord has allowed for it to stand. "And if I be Beelzebub, and if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But I cast out devils by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of Yahweh is coming to you. Or else how can one enter into a strong man's home and spoil his goods except he first bind the strong man and then he spoil his house? All right, well, Esau's house is getting spoiled, man, and the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is doing it, okay? Let me go to Matthew 24 right quick. I'm going to close out because I got to go back in this damn job. This is Matthew chapter 24. And verse 6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And these are the beginning of sorrows." All right, well, you are looking at the beginning of sorrows, man, okay? Some wars and rumors of wars are going on everywhere, including in America with the rumors of civil war, okay? All right, but Lord will use edifying to the next time. Shalom.